And I lit it up before we started, which is
Texting. Hey, sorry we're late tonight, boys and girls. It is a Wet My Whistle Wednesday here in a very not humid, but comfortable. Comfortable, not humid, comfortable.
Oh, my God.
Comfortable.
Perfection.
Perfection. A utopiast mid-sack.
Wet my whistle with some Crystal Light. I got an Arnold Palmer here, folks. No alcohol, Crystal Light iced tea, Crystal Light iced tea, Crystal Light lemonade. And when I say Crystal Light, I really mean Aldi brand. But it's fake iced tea and lemonade. 0 sugar.
Wet My Whistle Wednesday.
That's right.
That both would apply. That is the redoubtable one, Tom Izzo. Good to see you, brother. The highly questioned one, Arjun Miliaccio, segment 1, all things basketball. Celtics rebounded from last night's epic struggle when they were missing 4 starters and took the almighty Milwaukee Bucks, who were at full strength, I might add, to overtime. If I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan today, I am not sitting on solid ground because that should have been a 30 to 40 point blowout with 4 starters out. And the fact that Boston had a 5-point lead in the overtime before they finally ran out of gas does not speak very highly of the Milwaukee Bucks. And no one with a straight face is going to tell me, boys and girls, that, well, we're going to add Jay Crowder. Okay, I'll give you Jay Crowder, and I'll take Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and Al Horford. And we'll see what we'll see, okay? Because that's literally what you're talking about. And there were 2 guys on TV today who were supposedly NBA experts who go, well, when Jay Crowder comes back, I give the Bucks a slight edge because of Giannis. A slight edge over who? Because right now...
Over their backups?
Over the Celtics.
Over the Celtics.
Period, in a 7-game series, because of Jay Crowder. I'm like, really? We added Brogdon. Okay? Jay Crowder can't hold Brogdon's jock. Jay Crowder's never been an all-star. Brogdon has. Jay Crowder's never won 6-man. Brogdon's about to. Okay? That's one guy. Okay? Never mind the rest of the Boston bench, which Brad Stevens, by the way, if he's not GM of the year, I don't know who the hell is. He has yet to miss a button. Okay, that he's pushed. It's unreal. Okay, this Hauser kid, since he became a starter in 4 games, averaged 16 points a game. He couldn't find the ocean last month. And now he's in Boston. Okay? Give me a fucking break. And now he's 16 points a game as in the starting role. What, are you kidding me? What the fuck? So, anyway, and Mazzulla deserves credit for that, too. He's doing a heck of a job coaching. He should be a Coach of the Year candidate, given what he was sent in there to do with that nightmare, if you remember how the season started, boys and girls. Yeah. The Knicks were having their way with Atlanta, I might add. I forget what the score was. It was in the 3rd, but...
Tonight?
Right.
Oh, I didn't realize the Knicks were playing tonight.
Tonight, yep. I was checking all things NBA.
I was excited the Knicks beat the Nets the other night for the first time in I don't know how many years.
I got news for you. The Knicks are going to be a tough out. They are. Brunson is a winner. He has got John Randall actually playing better than he played 2 years ago when he made the All-Star team.
Julius Randle. He's
playing better now than he was 2 years ago.
Good.
He looks much better. Best I've ever seen him look. And the trade they brought, I think Hart was a good addition. He's going to help them.
Well, he's a college teammate of Brunson.
Yes.
So they love the fact that they're playing together.
Absolutely.
Which when you add a piece that's going to come in and be a chemistry fit.
Chemistry is underrated.
Especially for a guy coming in with,
people say
a third of the season.
Yeah, they talk about the locker room, the locker room. And they're saying chemistry is what they're saying.
But basketball is one of those things where, you really have to be in sync.
You do.
I mean,
absolutely,
there's too few guys for one of them not to understand how the team plays.
Absolutely, and they got to fit with the style they're trying to play. Absolutely, yes.
Especially when you're kind of a role player. You know what I'm saying? So
he makes them better.
And I didn't realize he's like a hustle guy. Mm-hmm. He was running all over the court. You got to have
guys that do the dirty work too. Yeah. Those are you look at championship teams; they've all got a guy like that. In every sport, they've got a guy that does the grunt work, they call it, the dirty work, the stuff that doesn't always go in the stat sheet, but turns the whole game around. Okay, because he dives through 4 people in the front row after a loose ball.
And he can hit some threes.
He's a shooter. He does a couple things well, skill-wise.
He's fast, too, on the break.
I mean, so he plays defense. He's a lockdown defender. Guys like that. So
tonight, the Knicks did beat the Hawks by 21.
Yep. Solid, because the Hawks and them are right there in the 6-7 spot.
Yep. Celtics beat the Pistons by 18.
Yeah, and they were, we'll get into that later.
The Sixers
were killing.
Finished off the Cavs, but it was a 4-point game with 20 seconds left.
The Cavs came back.
The
Cavs were in the 4th spot.
Cavs were down almost 30.
Yeah, it was 63 to 38 at the half. Yeah, it was bad. But the Cavs are tough. The Cavs are not going to roll over either. Then there's the Miami Heat too.
The Heat lost tonight.
Yeah, they lost
to the Nets.
The
Nets aren't playing bad basketball.
I'll tell you right now, they should have stuck with the plan 4 years ago, and maybe they finally realized this.
Yeah.
Stick with the plan.
Don't
go looking for the big, the big sexy. Go just build the team the right way, because they were doing it. And that coach, wherever that coach is now, was doing a hell of a job, and he got screwed too.
Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's in the league, unless he's a backup.
He might be an assistant. I hope he is in the league, because he was a good
Probably
coach.
is.
He was a good coach. He should still be in the league. I hope he is. Or maybe he's got a head coaching job in college. Who knows? By the way, isn't a bad gig.
Guess who the Nuggets are bullying right now?
The fake show?
No.
Who? The Nuggets?
The Mavericks.
The Mavericks. Oh, the no defense playing Mavericks?
The Nuggets are beating the Mavericks 61-44 at halftime.
Yeah, and that's going to continue.
In Denver.
It's in Denver. The Dallas can't beat them. No way.
Well, you wanted to talk about Monday, right? When was it Monday? I don't know. It was a couple days ago.
When the last shot.
Kyrie
had a...
you take it. No, you take it.
Kyrie had a great fourth quarter. Honestly, given Kyrie had 26 points in the fourth quarter, as good as Luka is, Kyrie Irving
in the fourth
quarter. Before that happened. Given the role he was on, no offense to Luka, but I would have given Kyrie Irving that shot. I would have called the play for Kyrie Irving. When a guy's hot,
that's how they're going to have to do it.
Yeah,
whoever's
hot, you got to defer. Yeah. And here's the thing: I'm going to give Kyrie credit for this. He was trying to get the ball to Luka. They were trying to get each other open, which is that's a good problem to have, because they're actually trying to do the right thing. So I'm not going to piss on Kyrie for that, because the bottom line is he was trying to do the right thing.
He was.
So if we're being fair, and I try to be a fair guy, Kyrie did. I get why he was.
It was an egoless moment for both.
Yes, and I'm like,
because they were like,
the one time one of them is supposed to have the ego.
Right. But
they're trying.
But to your point,
they're trying.
It's not going to be one of them having the ego. It's going to be the other one going, "You're hot."
Or Jason Kidd.
Right.
You're the coach, Jason. Come on. I know. Come on, Jason.
You haven't missed one quarter.
Kyrie, you're 11 for 11.
Right.
We're going to you. Luka, we're going to put you off the ball. If they leave you, they're going to have one option. Don't leave you or leave you. You're the other option. That's the play you call. Okay? And Jason Kidd knows that.
You pass.
Jason Kidd knows that, but the spacing on that was terrible, probably because there was no play call.
They were too close to each other.
Yeah, there was no play call. That was freelance, and that's why you have to have a coach. And Kidd knows this, and he'll make the adjustment. But the bottom line is, if Luka's 11 for 11 in the fourth quarter, Luka's taking the fucking shot, as far as I'm concerned, unless they double him. So the bottom line is this is not a bad problem that happened. It cost them a game against a team that they're battling with in seeding. That hurts. But look, I have no problem with.
It's probably a good sign.
It's probably a good sign. They were trying to do the right thing. So, and if I'm gonna, as much as I want to crush Kyrie every chance I get, I try to be fair. And I think he was trying to do the right thing there. And he had a hell of a fourth quarter. He brought him back. They were down by 11. He brought them back.
What did Luka's game look like?
He ended up with 30. Kyrie had 38, and Luka had 33. So they had 71 points. They did what they were supposed to do there. It was just at the end they didn't know, and they were trying to set the other one up. That's what it was. So, and kudos to Minnesota, who played great defense. I mean, the spacing was terrible, so they were able to actually help and recover on those two, which if they were on either side of the floor, that wouldn't have been able to happen. Yeah. So, but Minnesota, to their credit, seized the moment and shut them both down and forced Kyrie to make a questionable pass into the paint. Mm-hmm. So they'll learn from it. That's not going to kill them. The bottom line is they still can't play defense.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, it's going to be their undoing, because they're not going to be able to stop any of the top four seeds in the West. They're not. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. If I'm Dallas, what I'm doing is I'm watching one team, the Sacramento Kings, because if they get to the 4 spot, right now they're in the 3 spot, I would want to stay in the 6 spot, because I think they could beat them in the first round if they got them.
The Kings?
Yeah, it's a matchup. The Kings can beat them too, but it's an even game. It's an even series. Against the other 3-4 in there, they'd be the underdogs, unquestionably. But if they want to get out of the first round...
Why Sacramento? Is it a size thing?
Sacramento doesn't have a guy that can stop either of those two. They just don't. And Sacramento is a good team. And I'm not saying Sacramento couldn't beat them. I'm saying that series would be a coin flip series. That would be their best chance of getting out of the first round. Because if they have to face one of the other 3, they'd be a decided underdog. And on top of it, they wouldn't have home court.
But so who could stop both of them? Are there any teams that could stop both of them?
The Celtics.
Right.
Milwaukee, if Middleton's 100%.
Middleton good on D?
Yeah, when he's healthy, he is. He plays both ends.
He's playing. He's back.
He's a good Holiday for the point guard who had 40 points against us. He was the reason the Bucks won last. They had 40 points.
So they would stop Kyrie with Holiday.
They put
Giannis
Middleton
on Luka?
They put Giannis on Luka or Middleton because Middleton's about 6'7". They could run them both at him. And
Giannis
actually,
could lock him down.
he could. But the thing is, you don't want to wear Giannis out. You switch him on. Like the Celtics will switch off Tatum and Brown on guys at different times to give the other guy a break, which is smart. And if you have that luxury,
who are you going to give a break to? Because somebody's got to guard Kyrie.
You leave Jrue on him. You leave him on him. Because
it's just Drew.
Drew Holiday, whatever his name is. The bottom line is
the J, but I think it's just Drew.
The J throws me off. I thought it was Drew, whatever. But if it's Drew, it's
just Drew.
It's Drew with just a J. There's no D in there.
Right, but if you think about how that's like Drew, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of.
Let's not put the D in there. Let's make it.
Put a J. The J replaces the D.
Drew. So it's Drew with a J?
I think so.
Like Jonas with a J? When Jonas Jerebko was for the Celtics and it was J and it was pronounced Jonas? So it's Jonas with a J.
It's like Janice.
So it's Drew, Janice.
Or Giannis with a G.
Giannis with a G, yeah. We say Jonas with a J. And he had a nice J. He had a pretty good jump shot, Jonas. I miss Jonas. He was cool. He went to Golden State and won a ring.
I saw something on Twitter and it made me think of us the other night.
What was that?
This is so funny.
What?
Whenever we talk about, pops up on TV shows.
What? Really? Like after us?
I mean, we don't talk
before?
about that much unique shit, but we were talking about Eric Bieniemy.
Yes.
And I was talking about how nobody talks about Eric Bieniemy. They always talk about Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And then boom, I see Shannon and Skip talking about
Storyteller.
it. But I mean,
they're not wrong.
No, I mean it's an obvious topic, so I'm not trying to take.
Let's not give too much credit for the obvious.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say.
They just don't want to be the one that's not talking about it because everybody's talking about it. Let's be honest.
I saw a clip of Mad Dog and JJ Redick. Is it Redick? JJ Redick or Redick? JJ Redick.
It's Redick. Redick.
Redick was crushing him because Mad Dog said Larry Bird was one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time.
Yeah, and Redick needs to shut his fucking mouth because he's wrong on this one.
Did you see it?
Yep.
You did, right?
I did see it.
And it made me think of us because we were talking because we all put Larry in the top 5.
Redick is a moron. Larry Bird won the first 3 consecutive 3-point shooting contests. That's called under pressure Redick with money on the line, and he won one without taking his fucking warm up off. Okay, JJ Redick needs to shut the fuck up.
Why is he saying that?
Because I'll tell you why. To get clicks. Click. Okay, and by the way, he's getting clicks.
You're probably right.
Yeah, he's trying to get clicks. And in this case, I know him because JJ Redick ain't that dumb. Okay, the first thing JJ Redick was told about when shooting, he was probably told about Larry Bird. Okay, because he came right after that. And Larry Bird, until Steph Curry came around, was considered the greatest shooter ever.
But his whole argument was that,
and I would argue this: if Larry Bird played in this era, he'd be the greatest shooter ever. He would, because there's no defense being played, and he only averaged 2 or 3-point attempts a game. Steph averages 8.5. So of course he's going to make more. Then he takes more.
That's his whole argument was volume and percentage.
Bird invented the 50, 40, 90 club, and he did it when they actually played defense. Steph Curry, one of the 3 best players of this generation, admitted on camera, I only play defense about half the time. And he was not joking when he said it. Because all you do is watch the tape and he's not lying. So I'm sorry, but while volume matters and attempts, the defense you're playing against also matters. And if you're not playing against any defense, then that's a problem too. And that doesn't mean people don't D-Steph up at times. They do. Okay, but there are times when he's wide open.
No, Stephen A. made the same argument. He said, look, the game's different.
The game is different. If Bird was playing in this era where the coach goes, Larry, every time you come down the floor, if you can see the line, just let it fly. Larry Bird would be like, really? Are you kidding me?
I'll shoot from half court. Fuck.
Yeah. Larry Bird, here's the thing that your friend doesn't understand. And Larry Bird, it was funny because people would say this. Larry Bird would only practice threes right before the All-Star break for the competition. He didn't practice the rest of the game. And he invented the 50, 40, 90 club against that era of defense, which if you think about the defensive players of that era, oh my God. From Dennis Rodman to Olajuwon to Maurice Cheeks to, give me a break. John Stockton, all-time steals leader. No one talks about him. Okay, it's ridiculous. All the guys. The shot blockers. Just look at Kareem, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Moses Malone.
They're not guarding the 3.
No, but they protect the rim. You go into the paint, you shot. That's a shot attempt.
I know, but we're talking about threes.
Well, I'm saying when these guys get to the rim now, there's nobody there. There's nobody there. There's like 2 guys in the league that protect the rim now.
Because half the centers you got to guard on the 3-point line.
That's part of the problem. But the thing is that there is help and recover defense though. You can still play off your man and help and recover. Sure. That doesn't happen either. Okay, so the bottom line is
if you recover, they kick to your man. And
I'm sorry, Brooke Lopez would not be leading the league in block shots back in the 80s. He wouldn't even be in the top 10. Okay, not even close.
Brooke Lopez.
And look, he's a good player, but he's not.
He is a complainer.
He complains a lot.
Oh my God.
He complains a lot.
And his face when he complains. I mean, every 2 seconds.
Yeah. He really.
Oh my God.
They put the crying this era. Everybody from LeBron. I shouldn't be mad at LeBron. The whole fucking league does it. I mean, so he's just a pioneer. But I mean, he does it better.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah, but he was one of. Not everybody in the league was like him. Now everybody does this. Reggie was one of like maybe 5 guys that were like. Danny Ainge was like that.
Yeah, who were some?
There were guys. There were some criers, but there weren't a lot of them. That's why it was Danny. Danny Ainge was a big one for the Celtics. He was a terrible crier. He was never right, and he never was. And Ainge made 4. Ainge made 4 All-Star.
Who else always yelled at the damn? I mean, Rasheed Wallace always yelled.
Wallace never shut up. He never shut up.
Tossed
it's a miracle he didn't get thrown out more. But Draymond Green has one-upped him. Okay, Draymond Green is Wallace on steroids.
He's a crier.
He's a beyond a crier. He looks at the ref on every play. He looks at the ref when he's not on the court. Okay, that's Draymond.
God, who were some other criers? I know there were some.
There are a lot of them. I mean, but especially in the early 2000s, where it really got out of control.
All the flops. Remember all the flops when that started? I mean, Rodman was a great flopper. Vlade Divac.
But Rodman didn't cry as much as these other guys. Rodman would run down the floor.
He was a flopper, though.
Yeah, he was. He was. But he also took real charges. He would get in there and get dirty. Rodman's the only guy I've ever seen. And I tell you what, Dennis Rodman has. You want to talk about a freaking feather in your cap? The reason Dennis Rodman is considered the greatest defensive player since Bill Russell is because he's the only guy that ever guarded Shaq, Bird, and Jordan and lived to tell the tale. Okay? That doesn't mean he's not on a couch somewhere seeking therapy for that, but he held his own against those 3. Okay? Michael Cooper's the other one who guarded Bird and Jordan, but he didn't guard Shaq. Rodman guarded all 3 of these guys. Like Rodman led the league in rebounding, which is a defensive stat, 4 or 5 times. And he won Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Famer because he's the greatest defensive player since Bill Russell. And the numbers back it up. And you talk to anybody that he guarded, and they'd say, yeah, he's right there. He's right there. And he could guard multiple positions. Yeah. Shaq, think about this. Shaq, Bird, and Jordan.
Dude, Rodman was strong as shit.
Yeah, but he was quick and he was smart.
Yeah.
He was smart. He knew how to keep Shaq. Dennis Rodman could actually keep Shaq from just backing him down. He was giving away 70, 80 pounds to him and 5 inches, for Christ's sake. And to his credit.
What was he, 5'8"?
Shaq.
I'm sorry, 6'8"?
Rodman was 6'8". He was about 250.
I said 5'8".
Yeah, 6'8".
Is he 250?
250. Yeah, same size as LeBron. Same size as LeBron.
Man.
Big dude, sick athlete. Dennis Rodman could jump 3 times faster than most people could jump like once.
Yeah.
He literally could.
It was his
jump.
Timing. His second jump.
Dennis Rodman's timing was impeccable. I still haven't seen anybody like that since him.
He literally had bounce.
I mean, bounce. It was like he was on a spring. Yeah. It was like he was fucking ridiculous. And he really helped the Pistons become the bad. They were the best defensive team. The Detroit Pistons are the best defensive team I've ever seen. I'll take that to my grave with me in my lifetime. They could literally
in my lifetime.
They were the best defensive team I've seen. The 2008 Celtics with Kevin Garnett and Posey and on the wing with Tony, they were a juggernaut. They locked people down. The Pistons, though, for those 2 years, the Spurs were really good. The Knicks in the '90s were really good. The Heat were good.
Pacers were a
great defensive team.
When they had the Davis brothers and Rick Smith.
Yeah, they could use. Good luck getting into that paint. And
they had Travis Best.
Yep, Travis Best was. I played against Travis. I'll tell you firsthand how great Travis Best was. He's the only guy I couldn't stop.
That was a strong ass.
Travis Best is the only player that ever averaged 30 points a game on me, and he did it 4 times. And I'm a lefty, and I knew what he was going to do, and I couldn't stop him. That's how great
tall
he
is he? He's not that
5'8".
tall. Right? Jesus. 5'8". Well, how tall were you?
6'4". He's the only player I couldn't.
You were 6'4" when you were guarding him?
Yeah. High school. Yeah. AAU. Actually, the first time we met was for the CYO New England Championship. He was actually a year older than me. They were a year up. And we were both undefeated, and we went through the bracket. We were playing for the New England CYO Championship, and we won the state championship at our level. They were a year ahead of us. And for whatever reason, they were in this tournament. And I had never seen Travis Best before. He had never seen me. And it was the first time we squared off, and he had 36 and I had 33. And anybody watching that game was like going, damn, these two are going to be fun to watch. And that was the first of 4 times I saw him and couldn't beat him. And I averaged almost 30 on him. He couldn't guard me.
He was Jesus Shuttlesworth teammate, wasn't he?
He was in the movie.
Yeah,
he was in the movie with Walter McCarty, yeah. And the thing about Travis was he hated Larry Bird and Bird ended up being his coach, and now he loves him because he was a Magic guy. For obvious reasons, which Travis will never admit to, but it was true. But now he loves Larry Bird. I used to hate Larry. Couldn't stand him. But then he coached me, and I was like, oh, my God. And
he was good on the Pacers, man.
Larry Bird he was very good. Travis was the first-round draft pick.
He was tough on the Knicks.
Dude, he was at Georgia Tech. Him and James Forrest. And I tell you, Georgia Tech, the only problem was they kept Duke then with Grant Hill and Bobby Hurley and Leitner. That was the team he couldn't beat. But he beat everybody else. Georgia Tech was loaded.
He went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has a long list of great point guards. Mark Price, Stephon Marbury. I mean, they got a list. Georgia Tech's got a list.
Forgot Marbury went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they got a list. There's another one. There's another one in there. I'm forgetting. Kenny Anderson.
Georgia Tech doesn't get recruits like that. Yeah, Kenny
was nasty. Kenny was filthy.
Georgia
lefty
Tech doesn't get recruits like that anymore.
No, Cremins is gone. That's why Bobby Cremins is gone. He was a great recruiter.
I mean, when's the last time Georgia Tech was really good? Are they ranked this year?
They're not ranked.
No.
I don't know if they're going to get in. So speaking of which, switching to college here, VCU at the buzzer tonight?
At the buzzer.
Did you see this?
Oh, well, I saw a clip of it.
Okay, who hit the shot?
I want to say Baldwin. No, it wasn't Baldwin.
The dude Shriver? What's his name? No? Who else?
Shriver's kind of
tailed off.
Gone quiet, I think.
Because people have him on the scouting report now.
Took people by surprise.
Yeah, no one knew about him.
And now, all of a sudden, they're putting a defender on him.
Yeah, he's not.
And he's not that kind of
You always can tell a player the second time around when they got tape on you. Then you know if you're for real or not. Yeah.
I mean, he could shoot, but he's not open.
Yeah, he's got to be wide open. If he's not wide open, or they're keying on him, which they are now whenever he comes in the game.
Yeah, because, I mean, he was having his way.
Oh, my God. He was on his way to being a freaking all-tournament team guy.
Yeah.
And now, he's been quiet for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Because the video's out on him now. People got tape on him.
50,
hopefully he responds to it, and he makes adjustments, because you can adjust to that, too.
Right.
Hopefully he does. We'll see.
They need to
we're going to find out what kind of coach this guy is, because he's got to get this kid free or find a way to get him free.
I think Mike Rhodes is a pretty good coach.
I think he is, too, but this is going to test his coaching now, because they're going to need that kid to get to the dance. To get through the A-10. They're going to need him. He can't go quiet in the A-10 tournament.
Okay,
they won't get through that without him. It was in Rhode Island, right? It was on the road.
Jackson, did you see it?
I did.
I mean, that's a tough shot.
That's a tough shot. Pull up from the wing? Yeah.
I mean, fading.
Yeah. Fading. Nice. Damn.
I mean, that's a deep
but
shot.
Just inside the 3, like 2 steps inside the 3. Yeah, nasty. Nasty stuff by this Jackson. Who is he? Jackson? Defensive struggle. They didn't score. He's a lefty. Dude, he went right and pulled up left. Very tough shot. I know, I'm a lefty. You should do that. Tough shot.
I think it's Zeb Jackson.
See, this is the advantage of if you have a pull-up, they don't know when you're going to pull up, and that's where he got that up because they didn't know when he was going to pull up.
Right. He didn't stop at the 3.
No, he kept going, which threw him off first. Yeah. Mid-range game, the lost art, boys and girls. I'm telling you.
I mean,
by the way, you know who had the
Rhode
best?
Island's 8-17, so that would have been a bad.
You know who had the best mid-range game ever? It's the number 2 guy is Michael Jordan. You know who number 1 is? Believe it or not. Any care to guess? Nope.
Not Larry Bird?
Nope. Isaiah Thomas, Detroit Pistons. That son of a bitch at 6'1", which is why I say this, he was 6'1". He could pull up from anywhere, left or right, inside the 3 and hit shots. And it didn't matter who was guarding him, how big, how quick, it did not matter. I give him the edge over MJ because he was 6'1", and he could do this. He would shoot over 7-foot centers that could jump LeBron, okay? And he was 6'1", and he could pull up from anywhere inside the paint. You want to see a highlight tape? Go put in a highlight tape of Isaiah Thomas for Detroit. You will shit your pants. Going, how the fuck? How many times you say, how the fuck is he doing this? So quick, so good, picture perfect. He could pull up from anywhere. Anywhere. And he was 6'1". Jordan, to me, is the second best mid-range game I've ever seen. He does. He could pull up also, but he was 6'6". Like, he's going to he could jump over you. Thomas couldn't do that. He was just so quick and so smart and fundamentally so good. When he stopped, people would really slide and fall down because he could stop on a dime. Like, I'm convinced the stop on the dime line was invented because of Isaiah Thomas. He could literally stop on a dime anywhere and pull up. And it was picture perfect, straight up and down for him. Switch, and it was all nylon. Every left, right, didn't matter. Off a spin moves, unbelievable. He was unbelievable. If you doubt that, go put the tape in.
So one guy who I always thought had a great not mid-range game, but like would always hit a mid-range jumper. And I hated him for it. Horace Grant.
He did have a good mid-range game, but he was more of a catch and shoot guy.
Right. He would stand there and somebody would drop.
He would pop.
That's
what
I'm saying. He didn't have the game. He didn't have the mid-range game.
Yeah, he didn't dribble.
That shot was just, it felt automatic against the Knicks.
He was he became, and he, by the way, he couldn't do that when he got in the league. He made himself that. To his credit, his work ethic, he became a much better shooter as he got in the years. His first couple years, he couldn't shoot from outside the paint. He made himself.
By the time they were winning championships,
he could pick and pop, and he had to because of Jordan and Pippen. He had to have a guy who could do that when the help collapsed, and he developed that shot. Bill Cartwright had that shot later, and that you need guys like that. Those are good role players because that takes the pressure off Jordan and Pippen to have to score every time because they can kick out to shooters. So anyway, but Jordan would be number 2 for me there. Bernard King is number 3 for me. Bernard King before he, you got to go put in tape of him, man. You'd be like, my God. See, this is the thing. I think you'd enjoy this. I think if you put in tapes of like Bird, these guys in the 80s, and you'd be like, motherfucker. He's got, holy fuck. He's got the stuff they could do. George Gervin, fucking, I mean, unbelievable. Terry Cummings, who no one talks about from Miami. From Milwaukee.
Was finger roll.
George Gervin invented the finger
Iceman.
Basically, Iceman. First of all, that's one of the coolest nicknames ever. The Iceman.
the nicknames were so good.
Dr.
J,
Legend.
Iceman.
I have a picture actually. It says the Doctor and the Legend at the All-Star break when basketball mattered. It was Doc and Bird. I posted it on my Facebook page, and God, they had a rival. Bird and Dr. J had a sick rivalry too. I mean, these guys. They hated each other, but the respect was there. But they wanted to beat each other, and they weren't all hugging and kissing after the game. They were so mad they wouldn't look at each other. But now when it's over, they have beers, but that was cool. That's part of what made it great. The rivalries.
It was funny.
That shit doesn't happen anymore.
It was funny.
LeBron and Durant had a chance to be a Bird Magic type of thing, and they missed it. They totally fucking missed it.
Well, Durant fucked it up.
LeBron kept jumping around too. They both kept jumping around. They kept. I swear to God, if Kevin Durant had stayed in Oklahoma City and won, this is why I got mad at LeBron because he becomes now he went back to Cleveland and got it, but the team had 2 All-Stars on it when he came back. Okay, or he probably wouldn't have come back. Okay, the bottom line is he wouldn't have come back. So his track record bears that out. The second Miami started to dip. And I can play the
I like that he went back and won one for Cleveland.
Yeah, but then as soon as they started to slip, he bolted again.
Yeah, I know, that was weird.
Like, come on, man, stay there, build around you. First of all, if you're the guy you think you are, they're gonna come to you. Tim Duncan was in San Antonio. They came to him. He didn't go nowhere. Yeah. You have to be in a big market to be successful. And within the media, in the internet world, you only be. First of all,
that owner was a douche, though.
He screwed
that up.
Yeah, but the first time
the owner screwed it up.
The first time he did, not the second time.
Yeah. No. The second time they parted ways, it was okay.
He should have stayed.
Sure, but
I probably would have forgiven him for all his bullshit if he stayed the second time. Okay, but then he goes to the lake. Oh, you asshole!
Yeah.
Goes to the lake.
All right, but what I was going to say is, John was talking to me. And he was asking me if Earl the Pearl was a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, he was.
And I was like, yeah. And nasty. I was like, John, typically...
I am loving your son more and more every day. I love these questions. He's going old school. Yeah. I love it.
And it was funny because...
Making you think.
I was like,
making you do a little thinking there.
John, if a player had a cool nickname, they're probably in the Hall of Fame.
Earl the Pearl.
Because you don't get nicknames like that unless you're awesome.
You know who doesn't get talked about either? But again, he wasn't a... Well, he won a dunk contest, though. Kenny the Jet Smith on TNT, who won 2 world titles with Houston. It was a hell of a player with the Rockets when Olajuwon was there. And he won a dunk contest, too.
He killed the Knicks.
Yeah. He was a hell of a player.
Remember when I was talking about Sam
North Carolina
Cassell being one of my villains?
Yeah.
Kenny Smith was a villain in that series.
Yes, he was.
Because he was raining threes.
Sniper.
He was a good 3-point shooter.
He was a very good 3-point
and could shoot it in transition.
And he had a mid-range game, too. He could pull up. He was very good. North Carolina dude, another Tar Heel.
Dude, that Rocket team was good.
Very good. The second one, they got
Kevin Willis, too? Or was he on the Pistons?
He was on the... he was on the Hawks, and then he
Hawks.
went...
Hawks and then Pistons.
Yeah, talk about a team that missed. Well, I mean, they could never get past Bird and the Pistons.
Dude, Kevin Willis was jacked.
He was nasty, and he was a double digit.
He was
jacked. Good. He was good too.
He was on the Rockets, wasn't he?
Not when they won. I don't think he was.
Are you sure?
Was he playing? Olajuwon was the center.
I know. I think Kevin Willis might have been playing power forward.
No, that was Otis. That was Otis Thorpe.
Oh, that was Thorpe
from Providence.
Yes,
Providence, who was
another big motherfucker.
It was good. He was not a good player. I tell you, there's so many good players that people don't even know about.
Otis Thorpe.
Otis Thorpe from Providence. He was a stud. That's how. Yeah, another one. That Rockets team was very, very good. And they got Drexler the second year. Clyde Drexler, the return of Phi Slamma Jamma.
Kevin Willis played for Dallas at the end of his. He played until 2006. Dear God.
Well, he came in the league in the late 80s, early 90s.
He was on Houston.
When?
1997.
The year after they won.
The year after.
Yeah, he didn't get a ring. He got there a year too late.
No, he was on there in 96.
Pull up the World Championship squad and see if he's in the picture. Because you can do that.
96.
Pull up the roster. 1996.
He's on it.
It was 94-95 when they beat the Knicks, 95-96. Pull up 95-96 and see if he's on it.
Okay.
Not 96-97, 95-96. See if he's on it. Because he might be. See if he's on it. Anyway, but lastly, Tom and I were arguing about this off the air, and with good reason. And I don't disagree with what Tom's saying, but I'm just saying this the guy reporting this is pretty, he's pretty close to the situation.
So they won in 93, 94, and 94,
95.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Okay.
So
because Jordan came back in 96, and he won it in 96 because Orlando got swept by them. Shaq got swept by Olajuwon in 95.
When did they lose to the Magic? Wasn't that before the second
That was 94-95. Jordan came back in the 94-95 season.
Really?
Midway through.
Okay.
Yeah. And just after the All-Star break, I think. Or maybe before, I don't remember. But in any event, the Magic beat them in 6. And everybody was giving Jordan shit. And I'm like, he was playing baseball 3 months ago. I don't even defend Jordan, and I was defending him. You're like, you realize he was on a baseball diamond 3 months ago. So I'm like, shit, you don't go for the fact that he could go from that to that and be dropping 55 on the Knicks in the Garden, and the Knicks were a good team, tells you how great he was. So I mean, even when he was off, he wasn't even on the next year with a full off season when he wasn't doing baseball off season. They go the first of a three-peat. And they also added Dennis Rodman. That didn't hurt because Rodman was the preeminent defensive player of the league and rebounder at that time. So in any event, Pippen and Jordan were so happy to see him. Trust me, he did all the dirty work. And he guarded Shaq when they beat Orlando. And he was
Scotty?
the one. No, Rodman was guarding Shaq. That was when Rodman held Shaq in check when they beat Penny and the Magic. And I think they swept him.
That's impressive. Yeah,
they swept him the next year.
They got swept, didn't they? Or did they lose?
They lost to him in 6 the year before.
6. Okay.
And then Horace Grant had jumped ship and gone to Orlando. So the next year, they get Rodman, and they beat them in like 5 or whatever it was.
And the Rockets,
Jordan had a whole off season.
Olajuwon stomped Shaq in the finals, didn't he?
That year,
right?
When
they
beat
Shaq
the Knicks
and then the Magic.
Yes, they beat the when did they beat the Bulls? Second round or third round? Was it the Magic? It was the Knicks they beat in the conference finals, right? Or they beat them in the second round?
No, I'm sorry. I meant the Rockets beat the Knicks in the finals, and then the Magic.
And then the Magic
finals,
the next
right?
year. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yes, they swept him, and Olajuwon shit on Shaq.
Yeah, I don't think the Knicks made the conference
Shaq
finals
will take this to his grave. He has never been schooled like that in his life by anyone. Olajuwon toyed with him. He made him look stupid. He literally made Shaq look stupid. Shaq's not stupid. He made him look stupid. And he admits it because he toyed with him. That's how great Olajuwon was.
Well, his fundamentals were disgusting.
This is why Tim Duncan.
They were so good.
Tim Duncan is even a better fundamental basketball player than Olajuwon was.
Yeah, but he didn't have the finesse of the footwork, man.
Olajuwon, like I said, the 3 best low post players in my lifetime are Jabbar, McHale, and Olajuwon. In my lifetime. And then Duncan's 4th.
That's the second time you said in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So
in my lifetime.
At the end of this segment, I'm going to play a little clip from Jay-Z's song, In My Lifetime. I think we need to start doing music in and out.
We should.
What do you think?
Yes, I'm all for that. Absolutely, yes. So welcome to our think piece tonight, ladies and gentlemen. and then Duncan and Malone, 4th and 5th, respectively. Tim Duncan and Karl the Mailman Malone, who no one talks about. He scored 38,000 points, but no one cares about him. He won 2 league MVPs.
Well, there's a lot about him and a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And I think that a lot of people are staying away from him.
Yeah, and I can see why if it's true. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You're innocent until proven guilty, but that's a bad rumor. So hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a rumor. I think it's legit.
Well, let's see if it's been proven. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. This is not it.
In any event, That's our look around the league tonight.
Well, we haven't. You didn't. So
around basketball.
You didn't say what we were arguing about.
Oh, about Tatum. Yeah. So here's the rumor coming out of Boston. And again, I don't know if it's true. It better not be for his sake, because if it is, the Celtics fan base alone will buy his ticket out of Boston. The rumor is that he didn't play last night, not because he was actually sick or hurt, because no one ever dug into the details of this. Because he played tonight, by the way, and scored 38 points on a team that he didn't need to play against, which is the other problem. Because if it was load management and it was innocent, it was still the dumbest thing he ever did. Even if he's innocent of this, it's still the dumbest thing he ever did. If it was load management, the accusation is that he was taking off that game to make sure that he was going to be able to participate in the All-Star game, because that weekend. And by the way, this is true, because I've heard this from many people from different markets, media markets, different teams, that All-Star weekend has become nothing more than the the NBA version, rather. I mean, most of the guys are African-American in the league.
The African-American.
Well, 80% of the league's African-Americans. I'm saying, but I'm saying, like, the bottom line is that weekend has become like the not the Billionaire Boys Club, but that's their boy network where they're networking. They're all getting together.
The NBA old boy network?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
The African-American
Yeah,
old
it
boy
wasn't
network?
about, LeBron's never entered the dunk contest, so it's not about competition.
Well, yeah.
He's afraid of losing and ruining his brand. Can't ruin the brand.
That's sweet.
It's true. That's why else did LeBron not enter? Because he couldn't win.
Maybe.
He was afraid he might lose. This is why I laugh at all these guys. Has Kevin Durant ever actually entered the three-point contest?
I don't know.
He hasn't. You know why?
Never?
He's afraid he'd lose.
Why?
And by the
Who
way,
cares?
They do.
It's fun.
You can't damage their brand.
It's fun to entertain people, and
It's fun to see who's It's fun to see who the best is, isn't it, boys and girls? It's fun to see. By the way, I don't think Steph Curry's in this one either. Mr. I'm the greatest three-point shooter. Well, put your money where your mouth is, Steph.
Well, he's been in a bunch.
How many has he won?
I don't know.
Bird's won 3. And Bird went in and told them they were going to do it.
I'm sure Steph has won.
Bird won one with his warm-up jacket on. And Michael Jordan, there's a video of Michael Jordan watching it, talking to all the contemporaries, going, Jesus, he hasn't even taken his top off yet. And in that round, Bird had 23 out of 30. The first one, he hit like 12 in a row in a stretch. Like, this is why when people say, like, Larry Bird would literally show up and tell you, I'm going to beat you, and he'd beat on your fucking leg and he'd scare the shit out of you. Okay? That's what being scared is, Joel. Okay? When a guy walks in and goes, who's playing for second? And then everybody kind of looks around the room, and then Bird goes out and hits 12 in a row in the first. Give me a break. That's called balls. That's what competition's all about.
So he's
That's
been in it 7 times.
Who? Steph?
Steph Curry.
How many's he won? 7 times. Bird only entered 4. And one was coming off the one he lost. He was coming off the double heel surgery. And then he started getting hurt. He never did it again. But
Golden State Warriors guard Stephen Curry won the 2021 three-point contest.
okay, so that was 2 years ago. Okay.
7th player to win multiple three-point
Okay,
contests.
so he's won more than one. Okay, good. He's put his money where his mouth is. It's good.
Curry, who previously won the event in 2015,
So he's won it twice.
joins Larry Bird, Craig Hodges, Jeff Hornacek, Jason Capono. He won
Pono
2.
won 2 of them, yeah.
That's crazy.
Shoot.
Mark Price 2.
Mark Price, there he
Peja
is.
Stojakovic.
Yeah,
2.
Peja could shoot. That's the one I was missing on
That's
the
a
shoot.
good one.
Peja was, damn it, I forgot
Peja
him.
was a good one.
Damn, did he die? No, he's still alive.
He's still alive.
The one who died, Drazen Petrovic, he's the one that died.
Oh, the guy.
He was a stud,
So,
yeah.
I
feel bad
Nets
about
draft him? Who drafted
He
him?
was with the Nets, and he went at Jordan. Oh, baby, did he go at Jordan.
I think it's better when you're looking at best players of all time, best shooters, to like Google a list.
You kind of want to
So
know.
you can kind of like
because
sometimes your brain just omits people.
Here's the thing about the three-point competition that I've always loved. It literally is that separate the man from the boys moment. Because now the whole world's watching, and now there's money on the line, and that's who's the best. Because when everybody says, "Oh, really?" and the next is, "Yeah," and you go, "You want to put money on it?" That's the NBA three-point contest. That's why I've always loved it, because and Bird would go in there and tell you who's playing for second.
Yeah.
And then Michael Jordan's watching from the locker room going, Jesus, he didn't even take his top off. You fucking kidding me? He's talking to the guys in the room. There's Dominique Wilkins is in there, and they're like, he didn't even take his fucking top off, man. Look at that. He's 23. Like, Jordan's like, this is over. They're in the second round when Bird did this, and Jordan's like, this is over. He said, it's over. He's in their head, it's over. And Jordan knew it was over. It was just like...
But Steph has not shied away because...
No, he hasn't. He's done.
Curry has taken part in the NBA All-Star Weekend in 9 of his previous 11 campaigns, including 3-point contest 6 times.
Okay, so he's done all right.
This is his 7th.
Yeah. Yep.
He's taking part in the Shooting Stars competition. That's like a newer.
What's that one?
I think it's when they shoot from real far. Like there's different.
Beyond the Arc?
Well,
it's a rangefinder.
I think maybe there's like a WNBA player and an NBA player.
Oh, it's a team thing.
I think it is.
That's kind of cool. All right, that's kind of.
And then it says.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah,
I have seen that.
You know,
yes.
because there's a woman shooting and he's shooting, and then he won the skills challenge in 2011. So
they didn't. I wish they had that back then. Because
Isaiah have that back then?
No, they never had the skills.
I always loved the bounce pass through.
Isaiah Thomas. Oh my God, I would have loved to have seen that. Those guys, Tim Hardaway, Dennis.
Tim Hardaway must have been in one.
They didn't have that.
Didn't have it in the 90s?
Not in the 90s, they didn't. No, I think it was the 2000s when they started.
Fucking what's his name?
Google the inaugural year of it.
Who's the Trailblazer player? Rob.
The Blazers?
Blazers point guard, kind of short.
From when?
New Yorker.
Rod Strickland?
Rod Strickland.
Yeah, he was nasty too.
Dude.
He was nasty.
His hands.
Yeah. He was nasty.
Oh man, he had good ball control.
Yeah, I mean, no, look, I wish they had that in the 80s and 90s. That would have been amazing. The guys that could have. Oh my God, who would have been in that? That would have been amazing. Shit. Price, fucking John Stockton. Oh my God, his handle was sick. Isaiah Thomas. That would have been a fucking epic battle. Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson was probably the best defensive guard. No one talks about this. Dennis Johnson guarded Magic and Michael in their prime. And anybody can hold Michael Jordan 19 points on his floor in his prime is a stud. Okay, and that was Dennis
2003
Johnson.
Was the first one.
Yeah, Bird was gone 12 years. So Isaiah Thomas was gone.
So Steve
Price
Nash,
was gone.
I remember Nash. He was in them though.
Yeah. Nash was nasty too.
Jason Kidd, I think I remember being in a couple of them.
Yeah, because he would have been he came out in '94 with Grant Hill. Yeah, I wish they had that. And that'd been awesome, man. Yeah. And that's one of the things I'm glad that was an up. That's an upgrade. And again, the Pro Bowl in football is trying to do shit like this now, which I think is great because you want to show these guys skills,
right?
And they're finally
because they got them doing dumb shit.
Well,
like hitting a golf ball.
That's not a golf. That's not a football skill. That to me is a waste of time. Yeah, that shows that's pretty fun, but it's not.
And they're like dipping it, like Saquon diving out of the way.
Yeah,
he just.
Yeah, it was like that was fun to watch.
Fun.
Yeah, but the golf was terrible.
Stupid.
No, but I mean they've got to find some more things where they highlight
the catch competition was kind of funny, but it was kind of like
those receivers. There's better ways to showcase what they can really do, like how fast they can run a route against like that kind of shit. There's ways to do that. The skills.
Or like the precision in which they run routes.
Yeah, because I love what they do with the quarterbacks now, where they got the targets and they're moving, and that's cool because you really get to see these guys how they can throw, and to me that's awesome. And I love that they do that, and they didn't used to always do it, but they do it now. That's a good one.
Well, have you seen the footage of the old one with like
which one?
I want to say Peyton Manning was there and Boomer Esiason was
won a league MVP.
Was older, and he did it with them, and he was fucking awesome.
Boomer was filthy. Boomer won the league MVP the year that he was that Super Bowl against the Niners where they were winning that game and Montana had the drive. That was Boomer's team. The Icky Shuffle and that Cincinnati Bengals team was nasty.
Yeah,
that Niner team was loaded. They were ahead in that game. Until that 92-yard drive when Montana iced his legacy. Because everybody talks about the drive. It's known as the drive.
Still keep getting away from Tatum.
We do. I'm sorry. So, the rumor is that Tatum took off the Milwaukee game so he could make sure, and again, that game was going to be more physical because it was physical. I watched the game. To not risk getting hurt so he could participate in All-Star Weekend because he is getting into this rich athletic, his all-star networking. So when they stop playing sports, they can form a team and go buy a franchise somewhere, which wouldn't be a bad idea, quite honestly. And I get him doing that, but you don't take off a game against the Milwaukee Bucks to do it because that's jeopardizing your chances at a title. Because the one thing that Durant and James both have are rings, plural, Jason, and you don't have one. Okay? So until you get 3 or 4 on or just give me 2, then you can start pulling that shit and I won't give a damn anymore. But right now, you're in the number 1 seed. Actually, you're about to lose it if Milwaukee wins again because you'll be tied. Okay? You don't jeopardize. If you want to do load management, you take the night off at home against the Pistons, who stink, who are 7-23 on the road. And Marcus Smart, by the way, and Al Horford were back tonight. So we definitely could have taken tonight off. And he didn't do it, okay? So
they couldn't play last night, but they're healthy enough to play this night?
Marcus Smart, they targeted. They didn't know when he was coming back. They tried. He was a game-time decision last night. So he couldn't go last night. And Horford is load management. He's been doing this all year. I'm not saying he's older. I get him. He's like 35. I get him. But Tatum, No. And that guy, Giannis, is over there? No. You can't take the night off. You take the night off against the Pistons. I won't care about that. I understand that. Boston fans will understand that. Even the ones that are more diehard than me, that are more old school, I should say. It's not diehard, it's old school. But taking the night off against, if that's true, oh, baby. And I'm not saying it's true. I don't know. I'm just saying that the guy who reported this was no scrub.
It just seems
he was no scrub.
ridiculous.
He was no Rob Parker.
It just seems ridiculous.
I didn't say it didn't seem ridiculous, but we've seen ridiculous things happen from athletes.
It's like
we've talked about it on this show.
You need to take a game off.
How many ridiculous things has Kyrie Irving done?
Let me say this out loud. You need to take a game off so that you can be healthy enough to go to All-Star Weekend and basically hang out with a bunch of your friends.
Who you're trying to beat to win a title.
But who you could see any night of the week.
There's plenty of time for this. But apparently this has become a thing. Anywhere. This has become a thing, this All-Star Weekend. That's what's become the last. He's saying this is what it's become the past 10 years. And he's not the first guy to say that.
I mean, I get that.
Mike Wilbon has said that.
But even
guys
if he wasn't healthy, he could go there and hang out with these guys.
Look it.
You know what I'm saying? Even
I don't know that.
Fly
I don't know that that's why he did it. I'm just saying if that is why he did it, okay.
I don't believe that.
I hope you're right, Tom, because if you're wrong, that means they will.
That's corny, if you know.
Well, I got an issue. If that's what happened and they don't win the championship this year because they lost home court to Milwaukee, that's going to bite him in the ass tenfold. Tenfold. I got an issue. You have no understanding of the venom up there in Boston when it comes to the venom. Okay, the one thing a Boston sports fan won't tolerate is lack of effort, lack of desire. They can live with losing, but not because of that. No. Lack of competitive fire.
Nobody likes that.
But Boston will run you out of town for it, like New York will. New York will do the same thing. They find that if that happened in New York, with like say the Yankees or something, like a historic franchise like the Celtics are. Like this is what I'm saying. You think if a Yankee did that and that guy, they wouldn't. Oh, are you kidding me? You know what that Yankee fan base would do to him? Are you kidding me? He'd never be able to set foot in that fucking stadium again. They'd boo him every time he got up.
But the Mets, we'd love you. We'd bring it back.
No, he's changing the culture. For the better, I might add. He's building something there.
And you talking about Cohen?
Yes, he's building something there. He is. And I hate New York, but I love what he's doing. This is
a good segue out.
It is a good
Since
segue.
We're going to be
baseball.
Talking about baseball.
Take a break.
Segment 2.
Hey, pitchers and catchers reported today. Where do you hear the story about Chris Sale, boys and girls?
Chris Sale.
Yeah, there's actually a story about him. It's not falling out of the bathtub. So anyway, it is Wet My Whistle Wednesday. So boys and girls, by all means, wet that whistle. Okay, Tom and I will see you on the other side. We're gonna go find Yoda, Joe Boo, and a few others, Snoop Dogg, and a few of Willie Nelson, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Grab a Frothel. See you. And Frothel, by the way, is drunk for fine frosty beverage. See you soon.
Hold on, let the music play for a minute.
Do we fade out of the picture?
You can go get a drink.
I got a drink.
This is old jersey.
You know what? I love that you came up with this idea because I'm going to play one to close tonight that even you are going to love from my era. You're going to go, what is that?
Oh, please.
Want to bet?
What are you going to play, Beastie Boys?
Nope. Surprise. Anyway, see you on the other side, soldiers.